My name is Rand Paul. You can stick your hand in my hair and twirl your little finger around my curly fuck head. Anyway, speaking of Rand Paul and his little curly headed fuck, so he's going on this thing now where he's all for Trump doing executive orders, changing laws, by the way, because let's be honest, Obamacare is the law, and Trump wants to change the law because when Obama did it, he's King Obama, and he's King Obama, he's changing laws, and it's all good and good now because, it ain't the black guy doing it, right? Well, they basically want to hinder the Affordable Care Act by empowering, quote unquote, empowering the consumer to shop across state lines. Dude, nobody shops the fuck across state lines. Nobody. Because here's what happens, and I'll tell you, this is exactly what happened to us, okay? When it was time for Grandma to go into the nursing home, because, for fuck's sake, it was, Peter, I've fallen, Peter. Don't call 911 or they'll take me away, Peter. That shit. Peter, that shit. When that shit happened, and I was on the front line, and I had to live upstairs, and Grant was downstairs, and I had to rent from her for 2 years, and she kept falling in the middle of the night because she had to get up to pee because she drank a fucking glass of orange juice right before bed. And every time she'd get up, we're talking sometimes 5-6 times a week. Now, she did about 3-4 times a week, realistically, toward the end. I think the Christ, she finally got pneumonia, and they're like, oh, we got to take her away now. Because that shit was just getting out of hand. I'm like, dude, somebody's got to do something about this because she's going to end up hurting herself. Or shit, she's going to end up hurting me, and it's not going to be good. But here's what happened. At the time, Jean was still working. She had to take time off of work, do a whole bunch of shit. Now, granted, it was slightly different for us because we also had the lawyer, and the whole state was trying to take the farm and the whole thing. That was going on too. But when it was time for her to go into the nursing home, we really didn't give a fuck what deal was going on 2 states over, okay? There was no shopping around. It was, let's get Grandma safe, let's get Graham safe, put her in the nursing home, and then we'll go back about our lives and try to live our lives normal. That's what it was. That was a cold, hard fact. Okay? Because what happens is when you start fucking with that shit, next thing you know, oh, Granny, she's losing this coverage, she's losing that care because, well, this one pays for it in Timbuktu, and this one here in New York State, it doesn't pay for this, and this, but it pays for that, and that, and the one in Jersey pays for this, and this, but not that, and that. Bullshit. Because what happens, you want to get Granny safe, you put her down, and you don't rock the fucking boat, because the minute you start rocking the boat, next thing you know, she's losing her Jell-O and her peaches and shit, because that's not covered. You can't have peaches and Jell-O, but you can have toast and butter. Fuck you. At least, no, granted, I can understand the hatred for Obamacare, because, it's making me pay for stuff I don't need, and blah, 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 blah. I gotta pay for, I'm a man, and I gotta pay for, female stuff, whatever, breast exams or whatever. That's the point of insurance, asshole. That's the fucking point. They pay for you, you pay for them. You get sick, somebody's paying for it. The people who aren't sick are paying for it. That's the whole point of the insurance. No, it seems like a Ponzi scheme if you really think about it. Because, I'm sorry, we need to get rid of insurance companies. We need to get rid of that shit. There needs to be a direct line between the person and the fucking doctor. No, I'm sorry. But I'm sorry, healthcare in and of itself is completely fucked. It is completely fucked. First off, the doctors are no saints either, because they literally charge $100 for saline solution, which is basically tap water and fucking teaspoon of salt in a plastic bag that they stick a needle up your ass. $100. It costs 97 cents to make. They're charging $100. Why? Because, well, Medicaid, for example, you know, they only get a certain amount. They're not going to be getting all this extra money. They're going to be getting the base amount. Like, oh, it costs 97 cents. You're going to get 97 cents. Well, we got to make profit. Well, that's the problem. Everybody's trying to make profit off other people's suffering, and I'm sorry, is bullshit. Now, we pay $70 trillion in the fucking war machine. You're telling me you couldn't take $1 trillion out of that fucking thing and help, you know, just collectively across the board? I mean, seriously, well, like a drop in the fuck bucket. You couldn't help people who legitimately need help. Really, that's what you're telling me. That's what you're saying to me. But no, we got to go to war. We got to go to war. We got to make sure we got nuclear submarines and shit, because we got to carry around all those nukes. Because Donald Trump wants to have fucking 30,000 more nukes. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? The guy is fucking inept. Don't even get me started with his shit. Oh, let's talk. Shit. You want to talk about his shit? Let's talk about the Iran deal. Okay. No, the Republicans keep wanting to say, oh, the Iran deal is horrible. It's horrible. It's awful. It's God. Oh my God. It's the worst thing ever. It's horrible for America. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Maybe you could make the argument that we didn't get a lot out of it, or we could have got more or something. Maybe you could make that argument. But considering that the tensions between Iran and America were pretty fucked up, I think getting inspectors in there was, a good thing. I think halting, as in minimizing their ability to create nuclear material, was a good thing. Now, granted, it didn't end it, obviously. No, that's why it's so bad for America, because it didn't end it. And we would end it, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. But either way, we slowed their progress, which was, compared to not slowing their progress, I would have to say is a good thing. We had inspectors going in there, which I think before, considering there were no inspectors going in there, that too is a very good thing. So, okay, fine. Republicans want to paint the picture that Obama's deal was just horrible for America. Okay, fine. But you can't deny the fact that inspectors are good and slowing their progress, good. Okay, you can't deny those two things. Now let's look at what the Republicans want to do currently right now. They want to basically end that. Take all the teeth out of it, as in, you know, no more inspectors, and Iran can go back to what they're doing. Now, they're looking at, well, it's only going to be 60 days, they're not going to come up with a nuke in 60 days, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. But, correct me if I'm wrong, but 7+ fucking years, Republicans have been saying repeal and replace Obamacare, and it's something they all agreed upon, yet when it came time for them to actually come up with a new health care plan, the one thing that they agreed upon, they couldn't agree upon. Now all of a sudden we're going to say, well, you failed there, not once but twice, actually a third time, and now we're going to kick the ball over to you guys to do this Iran deal. Really? You gonna put Congress that's completely inept? So what happens after 60 days? Does the Iran deal just fall apart? Because it's great because Fox News has played, oh, it's horrible. Republicans, it's horrible. Bad deal for America. I don't know. I think inspectors is a damn good deal for America. I think having limited ability to make nuclear waste and shit and blow fucking people up, I think hindering that on even a slight level is still a positive. And now all of a sudden we're going to, or the faith in Congress. Dude, Congress, you realize cancer is more popular than, no, seriously, colon rectal cancer is more popular than fucking Congress right now. You do understand that. Colon rectal fuck cancer. It's got more of a positive approval rating than Congress. And they're just going to say, oh, we're going to make a better deal for America. We can shop across lines on this one. You fuck you idiots. They can't even agree on the shit that they agree on. Okay. And all of a sudden, now all of a sudden, we're going back to healthcare where nothing's paid for. Nothing is getting paid for, so you're gonna have, you can shop across lines and it empowers the consumer. Yeah, I can shop in Jersey. Yeah, I can go to fucking Jersey and shop for my fucking healthcare. Woo! Yeah, it'll cover this and it'll cover that, but it won't cover this and that. And of course, I'll probably need this and that at some point. But that's okay because I can shop across lines, and if they're not satisfying, I can go to Oklahoma. I can get my health care from Oklahoma. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you goddamn fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Oklahoma. Fuck you, Oklahoma. Nothing against Oklahoma, but are you fucking kidding me? Or shop against state lines. I want you fuckers shop against state lines, motherfucker. Asshole. Why don't you find the fucking coast border and go swim, you fag? I mean, seriously, go fuck yourselves. And this is what we're dealing with. Like I said, they can't even agree on what they agree on. And now we're going to take the inspectors away, because what's going to happen, because what Trump is going to do with his little veto pen, or little whatever you call it, his little fuck pen there that he writes his little shit on, what's going to happen is you're going to take that Iran deal and everybody's going to cut all the teeth out of it. But they're going to paint it as, well, no, all that stuff's still in there, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but if you take the basic concept out, very much like Obamacare, if you take the mandate out where you have to get health care, because the whole point is, if you're healthy, you pay money into the system for the people who need it, and then when you get sick, somebody else will put money into it for you. That's basically what it is. You're basically paying for your health care now, even though you don't really technically need it now. Now again, I'm not sure I like that idea just collectively, but that's not Obamacare. That's insurance in general. That's how insurance in general works. I mean, that's not Obamacare. That's just, it is what it is. I mean, whatever. But, hey. But again, what's going to happen is they're going to come out and say, well, no, it's all, the base stuff is in there. The base stuff is in there, and, all that stuff, the sanctions and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but that shit ain't going to mean nothing. It's not going to mean nothing. If you cut the bill, whatever that bill is, you cut it, you cut the legs off from underneath it. It's literally a house of cards. It doesn't mean anything. Because no one's going to enforce it. There's no inspectors. So if there's no inspectors, they can basically do whatever the fuck they want. Now, the only saving grace is that it's, within 60, 70 days. But you really think they're going to figure it out and going to come up with a better deal within 60? You think Congress is actually going to do something? Congress has dude, you understand, Republican-led Congress has done nothing for over 8 years. Do you understand that? Since Obama took office, they have done nothing. They spent 850 some odd times doing Benghazi, which apparently we must have gotten justice for those 4 dead 4 dead Americans, because I haven't heard anything about Benghazi since, I don't know, November last year. After the fucking election, I didn't hear anything about it. So we must have found justice. Oh, dude, Hillary didn't get in there, so we found the justice that they deserved. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you seriously fucking kidding me? So goddamn worried. I mean, do you realize Fox News literally had 24/7 vigils for the quote-unquote 4 dead Americans in Benghazi, that they had the fucking horns playing, they had the whole thing, they had this little prompter, little intro, like, with the fucking horns and the bugles and shit, and taps was playing, and 4 dead Americans scrawled across the screen, Benghazi, Hillary, Benghazi, Hillary, Benghazi, oh no. And then after the election, you don't hear about it at all. You haven't heard a goddamn word. You haven't heard a goddamn one about that shit. You hear about Rogue One? This is goddamn one. You ain't heard shit. Okay. you ain't heard shit from these motherfuckers about Benghazi. Are they doing more hearings? No. Might be a couple little hints here or there. They don't give a fuck. It's over. There's no point. It was not about Benghazi. It wasn't about 4 dead Americans. It was about Hillary. That's all it was. They didn't like Hillary. That's all it was. They were using it as a scapegoat. They were using it as some sort of political bullshit, which pisses me off because you got a lot of stupid Americans, a lot of stupid Christians. Now, when I say stupid Christians, I mean my fellow stupid Christians, as in there are some stupid people within the Christian community. Not that all Christians are stupid. Okay, I don't want to verify that because I don't want to sound like I'm saying that all Christians are stupid, but there are a good number of people who call themselves Christian who are fucking dumber than a bucket of shit. Okay? It's just how it is. It's not me. It's just fact. It is what it is. So, you got a lot of people from the church, from our church, who Benghazi, the 4 dead people, and they literally give a fuck about the 4 dead Americans. And to them, it's about the 4 dead Americans. And Hillary's bad, Hillary. They don't even realize they're being played. It has nothing to do with Hillary. It should be about the 4 dead Americans. Not about Hillary. Not about Hillary. But they're being played, and they're too stupid to realize they're being played. They are too stupid to realize that they were being played. Because guess what? If Hillary got in office, all these rich people who give a fuck about Benghazi, like everybody at Fox News, Koch brothers, all these fuckers, they were going to get their way. Now they get Trump in there. They're getting their way. It's about the fucking money. Dude, any of that stuff is about the goddamn money. Always look for where the money is. Every time something happens, there's a Iran deal. Where's the money? You can follow the fucking money. Why is this deal bad? Because, it's Obama and whatever. It's disturbing. It's legitimately fucking disturbing. That, again, I don't want to rail on the Republicans. I really don't. I wish they'd get their shit in order. I wish they'd figure it the fuck out. Because there used to be a time, and I don't know if I was just naive, young, and stupid, but it was a time when it was like, okay, the Republicans, they could do no wrong. Yay. Go forth and conquer, Go out with your Bible and Jesus, and you're 18, and like, yay, go for go save the universe. Well, now all of a sudden it's like, these guys are fucked in the head. They're legitimately fucked in the head. They literally want to take health care away from children. Now, they don't want to look at it that way, but it's not about the moral issues. The Republicans don't... See, that's what pisses me off the most. Republicans don't care about the moral fucking issue. Oh, abortion. They don't give a fuck about abortion. They only care about the fact the rich donors, the rich overlords, the people who pay them, the people who bought them. I mean, seriously, think about the Koch brothers and all the rich people. And don't get me wrong, there's people on the Democrat side too. But we're talking about the Republicans here. Think about all the rich Republican people who bought Mitch McConnell, who bought whoever Paul Ryan and Rand fuck Paul, curly-headed fuck. They literally bought these people. No, some of them be, no, not really. They didn't buy this one. They did. Their donors want certain things, like NRA. The NRA basically bought these fucking people. They bought their heart and soul, and you're never going to see any type of legislation of any kind. Well, the guns don't kill people kill people. Then why don't we limit people from having fucking guns who are, fucking crazy? Well, that wouldn't save this time. Yeah, but it might save 6 times others. I mean, seriously. I mean, think about it. I'm not saying limit the gun, but you should limit the person getting the gun. Like a rapist should not have a fucking gun. I'm sorry, if you're a convicted fucking rapist, you don't get a gun. Bill Cosby should not have a gun. I don't know if he does. He probably does. I don't know. Somebody like George Zimmerman should not have a gun after at least 2 different instances where he's fucked up with it. I'm sorry, it's a fact. Look it up. Child molester should not have a gun. People who come out of prison shouldn't get guns, which I think that might actually be a thing. I'm not sure. But You know, like if you're on a watch list, if you're on a no-fly list, I mean, seriously, if the government says, oh, by the way, I don't think these people should be flying because they're possible fucking terrorists, you should not have a goddamn gun. Well, it's like, hey, here's a, you know, Glock 42,057, whatever the fuck they are. Okay, with a bump stock, you can shoot 900 gazillion bullets a second. Give me a fucking break. You don't, I'm sorry, no one needs that shit. No one needs a gun that can do that. Bump stock my dick, because no one needs a gun that can shoot that many fucking bullets. Well, it's against the tyranny of the government. Dude, I'm sorry, I don't want to even get into that, because listen, I don't care about guns. Like, for example, I don't care about guns at all. None. I have no desire, I have no interest in them. I don't mean this in a liberal sort of way, just they don't appeal to me. Collectively, conceptually, I really want nothing to do with them. But I understand some people do, and I don't have a problem with that. My father likes to hunt. He has a gun cabinet. When I was a kid, it was off limits. You don't touch it. And I was like, okay, fine. I don't want anything to do with it anyway. Okay, no, it was great. He had the guns. He'd take them out. He'd polish them. He'd shoot himself in the foot. Whatever. He and the cousins would go hunting, and they take their little rifles and put it over their shoulders like Elmer Fudd. You know, whatever. I have no problem with any of that. Now, I understand that the Second Amendment is not about hunting, it's actually about tyranny of the government. The problem with the tyranny of the goddamn government is that it no longer applies. It is not even a thing. Tyranny of the government does not exist in this current generation. It can't. Because if our government was tyrannical, there's not a goddamn thing we can do about that shit. There's nothing we can do about it. You and your little pistol ain't gonna do shit. Now, I've said this before. You watch the movie Patriot with Mel Gibson. He's hiding in the bushes and you got the redcoats coming down. Yeah, that's when tyranny, actually played a role. That's when shit like that was important. That's when your guns were important. When you had to put a little thing in there and shovel the little thing down the pike, and, you're basically talking about shooting a little ball of bullshit out. Like, oh wait, gotta reload. Let me get my little pouch over here and put the bullet in. Shuff. Bullshit. Now you got guns. You literally just hold the trigger and like 1,000 bullets just spray and can turn human beings into fucking pulp. Okay, that's a problem. That's a legitimate problem. Because if these motherfuckers can have this, then I goddamn well want a fucking tank. Yet I can't have a tank. I can't have a tank or a missile launcher. But yet they can have fucking guns. Well, if a good guy had a gun, dude, you got a gun that's spraying 1,000,000 bullets a second, or whatever the fuck it is. You're not going to be able to reach, grab your little gun, point, and go, freeze, sucker, pew pew. No. Good guy with a gun ain't going to apply when somebody's mowing down in a fucking crowd of people. That's bullshit. And now they want to have teachers who are armed. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's have the teachers be fucking armed, because we don't want our kids being, God forbid our kids were caught in a crossfire. Next thing, it's just, that's all you need. One teacher shooting a kid accidentally trying to save the rest of them. Okay, can you imagine the fucking uproar with that shit? You're gonna have the Republic. Well, their teacher was trying, but little Johnny died, and little Johnny's a hero. I mean, again, one of the biggest fucking arguments that just gives me the fucking shits is, well, if they don't use guns, they can use their car, or they can use their knives. Dude, I would rather take 15 stab wounds and potentially live, or take a car humping a curb and running into me and crushing my legs, but I still live, versus pew, and I'm instantly dead because it shot me in the fucking head or shot me in the dick or something. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I would take my chances with a knife and a car every time. There's a big difference, okay? There's a big difference. Again, motherfucker mowed down, 50 people in Vegas? 50 fucking people got mowed down. Now, if he had a car, how many people think he's going to get? 25? Maybe kill 3? Okay, 3 versus 50. Big difference there, folks. Big difference. Well, no, you can make the arguments all you want. The arguments don't apply to your sanity level because you're an idiot. Okay. Well, what if he had a knife? Okay, so he stabbed 5, 6, 10 people. They're not gonna die unless he hit him in the throat or something, or cut an artery. Okay, I would take my chance getting stabbed in the fucking nuts, stabbed in the eye, stabbed in the throat, or having an artery cut and bleeding out than I would him having a fucking gun that can mow me over. Like, literally, I'm just standing there, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, I'm laying in pieces. I'm in like 2 fucking pieces. Like pulp and piss and shit all over the house. Give me a freaking break. I'm sorry. There's no one. You don't need that. Because, okay, again, let's go back to tyranny. Well, what's going to happen when the tyranny? Oh, Obama's coming to steal our guns. Well, apparently that didn't happen, you fucking nit. Whatever. So Obama didn't come get your guns. Oh, but Trump, he's going to stand up for Second Amendment rights. He's going to stand up for my right to have a gun. And don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with you having a gun. If you're smart enough to fucking use it, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that. At all. What I have a problem is you thinking you're going to be going against a tyrannical government. Do you understand what that even fucking means? Do you realize that our police system, yes, also, by the way, thanks to the help of Donald Trump, will now be receiving, on a regular basis, armored Humvees, tanks, or whatever the fuck they are, little armored vehicles. They'll be given, your basic police now are going to be having SWAT gear, which they already have in a lot of places. So your basic police are going to be dressed up like your military. Do you understand that? So a traffic light, somebody's going to come up with like full armor SWAT gear at a traffic light violation. What is the intimidation factor for that? Now, I can understand having SWAT gear if there's a riot, like, oh, I don't know, a bunch of Nazis are trekking down through the town, trekking through Main Street. Okay, good guys on both sides. I can understand that. There's a time and a place for that. Ferguson, the whole fucking town is on fire. I can understand that. There's a need for that. At that point, I should say. Now, sometimes they do come out a little early with their SWAT gear, and it does instigate a fucking problem, which I'm not saying it's good or bad on their end, but they do kind of instigate some problems. They do. You come out with that thing and you're banging the shield with your billy club, you know, that's going to get people riled up. That's not de-escalating the problem. It's escalating it. Again, I'm not going to trash the police for that. Obviously, I would want to be, if I was a policeman, I'd want to have the fucking riot gear if I know there's a bunch of people who, you know, are on the verge of rioting. Okay, it is what it is. But I mean, seriously, do they need riot gear just to, you know, drive to the donut shop? I mean, seriously, is that where we're going? But yeah, nobody's got the heart to say that. I mean, seriously, I'm telling you, Donald Trump is militarizing our fucking police force. Now, Obama tried to not do that. And everybody's, oh, Obama wants to take away the police and make police, you know, put police in danger and blah, 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 blah. I don't know, man. I don't trust the police. I'm white. I don't trust the police. I mean, I watched videos of them beating a black guy for absolutely no reason. He didn't even do anything. He's just laying on the ground and they're just pummeling him for no reason. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some times, like for example, a lot of black people like Sharpton and whatnot want to praise what was his name, Chris Brown or whatever. That guy was a fucking asshole. I'm sorry, that guy was a fucking asshole. He's the one that supposedly had his hands up and don't shoot. Okay, now Hannity wanted to go out and say, well, the reason he had his hands up is because he was charging. And he was like, oh, give me a break. But I'm sorry, the guy himself was a complete asshole. Because moments before he died, they show him going into that convenience store. He just walks in, takes shit, and then the owner or the cashier comes up to him and is like, "Hey, what are you doing? You can't be stealing shit." He grabs him, strong arms, pushes him into the rack of chips, and walks out thinking he owns the place. Okay, and you know he took that gruff that he had with that employee, and he took it to the police officer. So I have no sympathy for that guy. He was a piece of shit. I have no sympathy for that guy. Now you contrast that to somebody like, I don't know, Trayvon Martin, who was being stalked by an asshole who thought he was John Wayne incarnate. Okay. Now, I mean, think about it. You're a kid, you're walking down the street, coming back from the store, it's dark and it's rainy, and you got some asshole driving slow behind you. What the fuck are you supposed to think? And then you dart behind building, behind the houses, because it's like, this guy's following me. And then he gets out of the car and actually does start following you. What the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, what are you supposed to do? He's just a thug. He's just a black thug. He was a fucking kid being stalked. What the fuck? Black thug my dick, because that is bullshit. That is bullshit. Instead of trying to understand the situation, it's all about that goddamn fucking gun. And here's the news flash for all the Christians out there. Jesus comes back, he's taking your guns, motherfucker. It ain't Obama, it's Jesus. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. You live by the gun, you're gonna die by the gun. Okay, when the millennial reign hits, there's no guns, there's no firearms, there's none of that shit. There's no need for that shit. If we had no guns, people wouldn't die with guns. You realize, seriously, that, and this is probably going to sound stupid, but it's actually true, that guns have a 100% fatality rate. You realize that. Think about it. Think about it. Everybody who was shot with a gun was shot with a gun. Okay. Not everybody who was stabbed died. Okay. So the fatality rate of pistols versus knives are far different. The fatality rate of vehicle manslaughters, of people just saying, "Oh, let me go run these people over," is a lot less than if they had a fucking gun. Now, you're in your car and you reach out the window and go, "Bing, bing, pew, 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 pew," start shooting people. You're going to shoot more people than you were if you ran into them. Because people are going to see the car, they're going to move, they're going to scatter. You'll get a couple slow people, you get a couple old people that are probably slow, You probably crush their fucking legs, but you're not going to kill them. You might kill one or two. You might kill up to 3 or 4 people, give or take, and that's pushing it. The rest you're going to injure. Okay, which is a far cry from if you just pull out your gun and start shooting people. You could shoot like 7, 8 people. Pee, 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 pee. I just shot. Well, how many people did I just shoot right there? Pee, 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 pee. How many more people did I just shoot right there? And if shit happens so random and so fast, people don't have time to react. And, the good guy with a gun. Yeah, by the time the good guy with a gun reacts, 6 people have already died. How many 6 people have already died? So, it's not an argument. It really is not an argument that, good guy with a gun. Good guy with a gun, my ass. Now, I don't want to talk about the guns anymore, because the guns give me the shits. Because I want to be fair about it, and to the point of, yes, people have a right to have guns. They should have guns. But should they have guns that can mow people the fuck over? I mean, seriously, do you really, seriously, need a gun that has the ability to shoot a gazillion bullets a second and literally mow down 50 people within minutes? Probably not even that. Probably seconds. I don't even know what it was. But I've seen some of these guns, and the amount of shit and force and bullshit that they perpetrate upon people. You got a crowd and you're shooting that shit into the crowd. Holy fuck, I'm surprised it wasn't more than 50 people. I mean, seriously, it's bullshit. But again, I can't have a bazooka and a tank, but you can have a fucking gun that does that shit. I don't understand the logic there. Because again, we need it for the tyranny of again, this whole tyranny of the government bullshit. Again, it was cute in 1770 nothing, but the fact they can bust or bunk your fucking house from space, they can literally glass you from space. Your little AK-47 ain't gonna do shit, or whatever I don't know what they're called, the Glock 42, 97, 64, whatever the fuck they are. Who gives a shit? It ain't gonna do nothing. Because again, who do you think? Because again, a lot of these people are like, oh, Obama comes, I'm gonna shoot him. You're going to come to steal my guns, I'm going to shoot him. My cold dead hand, I want to shoot Obama. Obama's not coming to your house to steal your guns, you fucking asshole. It's going to be your military and your police, your SWAT force police. They're going to come in their SWAT gear, hold your wife and kids down while they hog tie them, and then ransack your house and steal your fucking guns. That's how it's going to work. And you ain't going to do shit about it. Because if you do, you're going to get mowed over by their weapons. And your family's going to get injured and probably killed. Your whole house is going to get killed. I mean, Jesus, you fucker see Waco? I mean, house is going to be on fire and, kids are going to be screaming. It's going to be horrible. I mean, seriously. That's what the feds did there. You think the feds coming into your house, stealing, taking your guns because, they've been outlawed? I don't know, man. Again, the tyrannical government... I'm trying to understand how people think they could stand up to a tyrannical government in this day and age. 100 years ago, maybe. 1,000 years ago, in other countries, maybe. Maybe that was a thing you could do. Like, I don't know, could the people of France and Greece and all these other places, let's say they had a tyrannical government, could they stand up to it back in the day, 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago? Could Christ have stood up to the Romans? I don't know. He probably could have back then. Okay, they probably could have. They could have taken up swords and shit. They probably could have done it. I don't know. But today, they can literally fly a drone through your window and say, oh, it was a gas leak. Oh, he died. It was a gas leak. They don't need to come take your guns. They don't. In fact, they want you to have your guns. So the off chance you go nuts, you go kill a bunch of people, they want you to become a statistic. And don't tell me they don't. I mean, seriously. No, my argument would be is if we had no guns at all, there would be no gun deaths. Well, people would die from other things. People would, again, you can make the argument. But I would gladly take a knife wound over a fucking gun wound, I tell you. Because at least with a knife wound, it's static, it's stationary, it's like, it's right there. Fucking gun, you hit it just right, it could go from like one end of my shoulder all the way through the other. Now you got a big fucking hole through your fucking shoulder on both ends. And if depending on the fucking rounds, it could actually explode the back end, so you got like this little tiny hole in the front of your shoulder and this big open wound, fucking gash of shit in the back. And then that shit splinters in your fucking body if it hits just right, shatters bone. I mean, dude, there's so many fucking problems with that. Again, I would take somebody stabbing me 15 times. I would gladly sit there with a smile on my face, somebody stab me 15 fucking times randomly, than somebody just to shoot me once. Because at least I could maybe survive. Or at least, block the fucking shot. Block the knife or something. Or take a couple of the shots to the arm as opposed to the face and the nuts. I mean, something. Anything. But again, this isn't about guns. I don't want to get into that shit. It's frustrating. It's what it is. Because you got fuckheads like Sean Hannity, during this Vegas shooting, and it's like, well, the bodies haven't even gone to the morgue yet, and the liberals are already talking about, banning guns and stuff. It's too soon. Dude, how the fuck is it too soon? Anybody remember Sandy Hook? Anybody remember the fucking tragedy before that? The tragedy before that? The tragedy before that? The tragedy before that? The one before that? The one a decade ago? The one 4 decades ago? The one 10 decades ago? The fuck? Remember all those goddamn fucking tragedies? How the fuck is this one too soon? Because here's a news flash. I'm going to predict it right now. There's going to be a mass shooting not that far into the future. And a bunch of people are going to die. And then we're going to be like, well, should we do gun control now? No, we'll have to wait until the next, group of people die. Because, we haven't met our quota of death yet. Give me a fucking break. Give me a break. It's bullshit. And it's like, and I'm not even one of these like crazy like liberals like, oh, take all the guns away. Now again, I would say that if we had no guns at all, I mean across the board, like none at all, we'd be much safer. Now I'm not saying take law-abiding citizen guns away and let the criminals have their guns. I'm not saying that. I mean, if we had no guns at all, like, okay, there's this new thing called the beepity boop boop. Okay, well, the beepity boop boop mass kills millions of people. Now, we don't have that right now. We don't have the beepity boop boop. So guess how many lives has not died because of the beepity boop boop? Okay. But when we get the beepity boop boop, millions of people are just going to die randomly. Are we better off without the beepity boop boop? Because I like saying beepity boop boop. So if we had the beepity boop boop, or would you rather not have the beepity boop boop? That's what I'm saying. You hear the words. You hear the words. You hear the words. Beepity boop boop. You hear those words. I know you do. You're a fucking idiot. It's simple logic. If they weren't here, we wouldn't die from them. Well, but again, we would die from other stuff. But at least you have a chance. At least you have a fighting fucking chance to survive that shit. Like I said, it's just frustrating because I'm predicting right now there's going to be another fucking mass shooting. I'm not a psychic. It's just a fact. And then we're going to have the same goddamn argument that we had during Sandy Hook. During this one, during that one, during that, blah, 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 blah. Florida shooting, the fucking nightclub, the this, that, the other. Actually, one of the guys on his truth, Australia banned, basically, they had a buyback program with all these fucking guns and like law-abiding citizens and shit, and they basically got rid of a whole bunch of guns. It's actually been a fact that suicides by firearm have gone down because people didn't have a gun. They couldn't shoot nobody. They couldn't shoot themselves. And it actually did save lives. It did. Homicides are down. Everything is down gun-related. Yet in America, everything is up. So, I mean, there are statistics that do say that if you get rid of guns, even by law-abiding citizens, less guns are, less problem, essentially. Now, again, I know the argument, well, if we get rid of law-abiding citizens gun, but all the thugs have the guns, and then next thing you know, the thugs are running rampant, and blah, 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 blah. Whatever. I mean, you gotta start somewhere, but I'm not even going to say take away everybody's guns. I don't believe that. Now, again, in a perfect world, will we have guns? No. We wouldn't need them. What about hunting? Well, fine. Okay, fine. You take your gun hunting. But, I mean, even Dick Cheney shot his friend in the face. Now, you tell me he's a reliable gun owner? I don't know about that. He shot a dude in the face. The minute you shoot your friend in the face, I think your gun privilege should be at least, hindered for a couple months. Well, he's out there shooting clay ducks. Well, whose fault is that? Who the fuck shoots clay ducks purposely? Why? Why would you shoot a clay? Basically they fire clay shit into the sky and they, and the buckshot, and it is, dude. If you can't hit something with buckshot, you're a fucking loser. Okay, I mean that's just how it is. Well, people do it for recreation. Hey, to each his own. But seriously, I don't know about all that. Anyways, I don't want to talk about that shit. I really don't want to talk about that shit anymore because it's just. I mean, again, I understand there's frustration on both sides. I understand if you're a gun advocate, it's like, oh, everybody wants to take away your guns. See, the problem is, I don't think people want to take away your guns. I think people want to, maybe limit certain things. Yes, people want to limit what you can have. Yes, just like you can't have a bazooka, people want to limit some of that. Now, my argument would be this: if there are certain types of guns that should just be illegal, again, rockets, grenades, those should be illegal. But there should be certain guns that you do have to have certain permits for, and you do have to register them, and you should have to, like this one gun, these bump stocks and all that shit that can shoot a gazillion bullets a second and mow down a bunch of people. Yeah, that shit should be on record somewhere. That okay, so and so has this fucking gun. That shit should be on a record. Now, if you got a 6-shooter, no, you don't need to register a 6-shooter. A basic gun, no, that stuff is different. There should be different tiers of what type of weapon you have. Now, I don't have a problem with certain guns, even the high-powered stuff, like the crazy, you don't really need it gun. Okay, I can understand there are people who want to maybe go to a range and shoot that shit off, or people want to go and collect that shit. I understand that. I have no problem with that. You can collect the fucking gun, but you should have to register something like that. You absolutely have to register. If you got something that can mass murder a bunch of people, oh, it's not the gun, it's the person. It doesn't matter. That thing can mass murder a bunch of fucking people. Like more than 10 within seconds. That shit needs to be registered. That literally is a lethal weapon. I mean, we're not talking Mel Gibson here. I mean, Jesus. This ain't Martin fucking Riggs. You gotta register that shit. You just do. That's not, well, you're just a libtard. No, there's nothing libtard about it. It's a simple fact. You got a gun that can mow down a bunch of fucking people, or the ability to make your gun do that, because obviously this whole bump stock thing, and put the bump stock on there, and make them all these bullets come out, whatever. Who gives a fuck? You buy that shit, you should be legally mandated to do that. Well, what if he didn't and he just went and killed a bunch of people? Fine. But the ones who did it would do it because they're law-abiding citizens. And they're good people. So yeah, they would say, hey, you know what? I got nothing to hide. I got a bump stock on this weapon. Here it is. It shouldn't be an issue. Shouldn't be an issue. For the people who, actually care about the issue itself. The only ones who don't care about the issue are the ones who are complaining about it. I don't want to be mowed over by a fucking asshole. I'm sorry. I go to the fucking movie theater, I go to the store, I don't want to get mowed over with no chance of survival, with no chance of, dodging a bullet. I mean, seriously, at least with a fucking knife wound, I could dodge that shit, potentially. Or at least get my hand up enough where I could block it. Or block a few of the attempts. At least I have a chance. At least I have a fighting fuck chance. You're just sitting there minding your own business and somebody shoots you from across the street. And you're just instantly dead. There's no fighting back. There's no coming back from that shit. That's all I'm saying on that. Anyways, what else is there? I talked about the guns. I talked about the healthcare, the Iran deal. What else is there in the fucking news? There's more Trump being fucking stupid. I don't like Trump. I'm sorry, I just don't like the guy. I don't trust the guy. Now, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to make a prediction here about this. He is not going to build the wall. He's not. They're going to give him billions of dollars, and what he's going to do is he's going to do a bunch of drones, and he's going to do a bunch of, shit like that. And he's going to reinforce the wall, but he's not actually going to build the wall. There's not going to be any new actual building. And if there is, it's going to be minute. It's, in other words, it's not going to be coast to coast. I can safely make that prediction right now. Or if anything, they're going to build some fences and they're going to do shit like that. Because again, what people don't understand is they can't build the wall. Okay, yes they can, yes they can. No, they can't, because a lot of that property is private fucking property. Now you're going to build a wall through your fucking backyard? No. Well, to keep America safe? No. You're not. It's private property. There's swampland. There's shit like that. You can't just build fucking walls in swampland. I mean, you could, but it's going to cost a shitload of money. So they're talking like, what was it, $7 billion or $70 million? Some fucking outrageous amount of money. And for what? For what? A wall that they can dig under? A wall that they could literally get a large ladder and climb over? I mean, really? But, you know, whatever. No, I think drones would be a better idea. I think sensors would be a better idea. There's certain things like that they could do that I think are a far better idea than actually building a wall, because that's just plain stupid. That's just dumb. I'm sorry, building a wall is just plain fucking stupid, because first off, it's an eyesore. Second of all, it's not going to work. They literally could build a tunnel underneath it. They do that all the time. Drug cartels and shit dig tunnels under borders all the fucking time. And that's all they need to do. That's all they need to do. Dig a fucking wall under your little fucking tunnel. Oh, it'll be 27 feet deep. Well, they can dig 28 feet deep. Who gives a fuck? I mean, seriously, you know? Fucking, I don't know. Nah, personally, I don't know. Something about the guy just irritates me. Something about him bugs me. He rubs me the wrong way. I could deal with Trump if he stopped scaring the bejesus out of people, especially like elderly people and sick people and poor people. If he'd stop scaring the bejesus out of normal folk, I could probably live with it and be like, okay, whatever, you know. But he doesn't want to do that. He wants to constantly, oh, we're going to cut this, we're going to cut that, and, you know, this, that, and the other. I don't know, man. What good is that going to do? I mean, seriously, what good is scaring old people going to do? And don't tell me he doesn't scare old people. I mean, this is talking that he and the Republicans want to, you know, cut Medicare and shit, and they want to cut your Social Security and all this other stuff. There's talk of that stuff. That scares the shit out of some old people, especially when they rely on that shit. And, you know, they have to have it. There's no getting around that fact. So, if you'd stop doing that bullshit, I could just let him be. I'd be like, you know, I don't like the guy. It is what it is. See you in 4 years. Hope for the best. Aside from that, it's just... And I don't want to get into the whole Christian, we love Trump bullshit. I don't want to get into that in this clip, because I could go another 2 hours on that shit. In fact, I have before, and I just don't want to do it right now. I don't have the fucking strength to talk about that fucking shit, because it pisses me off. But I will say that if you're going to be, if you're going to talk about things like biblical ideas, well, there's a couple biblical ideas that I think people should understand. Is that the Bible does say that in the end times, that, so how is it worded? That if it were possible, the very elect may be deceived. The Bible also talks about the straight and narrow. The Bible also talks about the remnant. That there will always be a remnant. Whether it was Noah on the boat, Lot and his family, whatever, there will always be a remnant. A small number of people who got it. So when I see things like 80% of evangelicals love Trump, that isn't the straight and narrow to me. That's the wide path that everybody's taken. That's not the remnant. Okay, 80% of people versus 20% of the people. I'm definitely one of the proud 20%. Okay. Now, maybe I'm full of shit. I don't know. But I got a bad vibe about the dude. And I see Christians defending him at every twist and turn. Like, oh, we got to pray for our president. Yet not one damn time did they pray for Obama. And I can understand you don't like Obama. Oh, you don't like your socialist. Fine, but you pray for the guy. You pray for the guy. You know? Like, I have to pray for, Trump. I don't like Trump. I think he's a piece of shit person. I think he's the Antichrist. Seriously, if you contrast, and I don't want to get into this, but if you contrast what the Antichrist is to Trump, holy shit. I mean, seriously. One of the cool ones, actually, is that when you look at Jesus' life, the sinners all flocked to Jesus. Now, they all didn't get saved, but they all flocked to him for healing. They recognized who he was, they recognized what he was, and they actually loved him for that. Again, they didn't love him enough to follow him religiously, but they loved him enough where they went to him. Jesus ate with sinners, the whole nine. The sinners flocked to him. Yet the religious leaders of the day rejected him. Now let's look at Trump, which is exact flipped opposite. The sinners, and if you're a Republican, it'd be those Hollywood liberals, those libtards. Okay, well, guess what? The libtards don't like Trump. The evil sinners don't like Trump. Who does? The religious leadership. It's exact flipped opposite, literally Antichrist of Jesus. You can't say that any other way. If Antichrist is the exact opposite of Jesus, and you compare the two, Trump is an Antichrist in that sense. Now, he may not be the Antichrist. I'm not going to say that as a fact. The man of perdition, I'm not going to say that. But I will say he is of the spirit thereof. Okay. Which is actually really interesting when you think about it. Because it's kind of fucked up, actually. But I mean, it's just, you watch that, you go back and watch that clip of him talking about, he was in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia, whatever. And what did he say? He said, we all have to come together as God's children. Direct quote. We all have to come together as God. We have to all come together as God's children to fight war on terrorism. Now, if that doesn't scream Antichrist, I don't know what does, because what is the Antichrist? It's someone who comes and promotes peace, but yet was given a bow to go make war. Now, think about it. Come together as God's children, all of us. That means every religion, even if they don't agree with God, even atheists, we come together as God's children, collectively, which is rallying all the faiths together in one New World Order faith. That's exactly what Trump said. You got people like Terry, like, oh, Hillary's going to bring the New World Order. That's the goddamn New World Order right there. We come together as God's children. That means all of us. Muslim, Hindu, Christian, we're all God's children. That's bullshit as far as that goes. Okay. And that's your buddy Trump doing it. That's your quote unquote your Christian leader doing that shit. And again, all the while saying, oh, we need to make war on terrorism. We need to fight ISIS. We need to come together as God's children and fight ISIS. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. You're promoting peace while talking about going to war. That's Antichrist bullshit. And nobody's got the heart to fucking say it. And there's the Christians. There's Jim Baker with a dick in his fucking mouth going, no, 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 no. Love Trump. There's Pat Robertson with another dick in his mouth. No, 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 there's Trump. Bullshit. Bullshit. Fucking heathens. They're a bunch of fucking heathens. I mean heathens in a collective sense, in a more generic sense than the actual definition of the word. Fucking bullshit. Bunch of assholes is what they are. Again, fine, I'll get into this, fine. Who can wage war against the fucking beast? Who can wage war against the beast? Well, news fuck flash. The United States has over 800 military bases. If you took a map and put a fucking pinprick or every base we have, guess what? China is surrounded. North Korea is surrounded by U.S. bases, military bases. Not just like embassies. We're talking actual military bases. With like bombs and shit. They are surrounded. Russia is surrounded. Everyone, everywhere, around the fucking world. We have over 800 bases throughout the world. No other nation has done that we know of. Now, they may have done it like back in the day. Alexander the Great may have had some bases here or there. But not to the extent where they could bunker bust your ass from space. Okay, not to the extent of we have today. So if we were pushed to the limit, like, oh, we're just going to go and wage war against everybody, like Trump wants to do, who could stand against America? Seriously. Who could wage war against the beast? Who can wage war against America? That's the question that I have. Because people are like, oh, America's not in the Bible. Yes, it is. We are the beast. We are the fucking beast. Who can wage war against us? Because guess what? How many trillions more dollars do we spend than the next top three military spenders? China, Russia. How much more? How many? We spend way more than they do. We spend, honestly, God, what is, I think like the top 5 to 8 or something. We spend more than the next 5 to 8 underneath us. More in military spending every year. We spend insane amounts of fucking military money. And Trump wants to do even more. So what the fuck, dude? Now, I'm not saying he's the Antichrist. I'm not going to say that. But it's definitely leading into something very similar to who can wage war against the beast. Now, I'm sorry, this nationalism stuff is giving me the fucking shits. And Trump can kiss my ass on this. This idea, I'm sorry. We went for 8 years where they're talking about, oh, Obama's the king, Obama's acting like a king, and blah, 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 blah. I don't remember Obama telling people necessarily what to do. In the sense of, well, you know, the NFL players should be forced to stand and give, you know, show patriotism to the anthem. I don't remember a sitting president really ever doing that. And at least not recently, where it's like they're demanding that people worship the country, worship, you know, and pay respect. Well, whatever happened to Bill of Rights and you know, he put his own hand on the Bible and swore to protect swore an oath to protect the Constitution, freedom of speech, freedom of this, freedom of that, freedom to go fuck yourself, whatever. Where was all that? Where is all that? Now, as far as like the NFL thing, yeah, I think if the NFL, I actually kind of agree with Rush Limbaugh in this one. Where if the NFL doesn't want, let's say, the publicity and says, okay, if you want to continue to collect a paycheck, you're going to go out there and you're going to stand. You know, you don't have to sing or put your hand over the heart. Just stand and just shut the fuck up. It's just how we want it collectively. I don't have a problem with that. What I do have a problem is a sitting president telling people what they should and should not do as far as political speech goes. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He's more worried about fucking NFL players than he is about goddamn Nazis running through the street. That's a problem. And I find it disheartening that in 2017, I cannot say beyond a shadow of a doubt that the people that I went to church with are not Nazi supporters, or at least, you know, give them the time of fucking day. Because I see them defending stuff that Trump said. I see them defending the Nazis. They do. They defend them. They may not defend them outwardly, but they are defending them collectively. And I find that disturbing. Like, oh, the damn football players don't stand for the anthem. But, yeah, it's the Nazis' right to march and protest, which it is. It absolutely is. But you can't have it both ways. You can't say it's okay for the Nazis and the protest, even though you may not agree with them, but then, oh, the football players, they can't protest. Because they're going against the almighty national anthem. Dun, 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 dun. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Because what's going to happen? People keep talking about nationalism and globalism. You'll understand that globalism is going to come out of nationalism. Okay? It just is. The Antichrist is going to start as a nationalist and then go global. He is. He has to. He has to build the base somewhere. Now think about it. Is it really far-fetched that let's say America took over the world? Let's just say that we wouldn't see, quote unquote, everyone coming together as God's children to love one another and blah 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 bullshit, right? Is it really that far-fetched to possibly see a global United States where all the countries of the world become states? They have statehood. And we're globally united. Okay, Russia's a state. China's a state, so on and so forth, or whatever. Is it really that far-fetched to see that happening? I don't think it is at all. In fact, it's almost the logical next step where we're all going to come together collectively. Be like, let's stop the shit. Well, guess what? That's globalism. And you're going to see it because, like right now, we got Trump, and he's like, "Oh, we got to stand up for the pledge, and we got to stand up for this, and stand up for that, and worship the beast, basically, worship the image of the beast." We have people who actually worship the flag, not what it stands for, but actually worship the flag. They are worshiping the image of the beast. We, America, I believe we are the beast. We are. You literally have people who worship the beast. You worship the image of the beast. What the fuck more does that say? What more? What else could that possibly be? No, I don't know. But I find it disheartening. Because there's a difference between nationalism and patriotism. Patriotism is something that you do inwardly and you want to give back to your country. Or nationalism is a completely different. That's almost like a cult. It's a religious cult based upon your lust for country. So this idea, well, they're not being patriotic. They shouldn't have to be patriotic. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says they have to be patriotic. So these football players who take a knee, they don't have to be patriotic. They don't. Nowhere in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights of any of that shit was ever signed that you have to be a patriot in that regard. And it does not say anywhere that your variant of what a patriot is needs to be propagated onto somebody else. It does not say that. Nowhere does it say that. What if they're being patriots by taking a knee and saying, hey, guess what? Maybe we should, show solidarity for, certain issues. Or maybe bring light to certain issues. I think they're being more patriotic than your average white Republican who's sitting there trashing them for taking a knee. Now, Tim Tebow took a fucking knee. Nobody say shit. Because you got a black guy with a fro and he's in there taking a fucking knee. Oh, no, son of a bitch. He's a son of a bitch, Trump said. He's a son of a bitch. Well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to give worship to my state. I'm not going to give worship to my country. Fuck you. Fuck you. Like Jesse Ventura said, when he was governor, he had the opportunity to sign a bill that said, everybody has to say the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, he said I vetoed that. Because, nor does it say this, that people have to be forced to do anything like that. You don't have to. There's nowhere in the Constitution does it say you have to give honor to the flag or the anthem or any of this stuff. And the only goddamn reason they sing the fucking national anthem at these sporting events is because our military wants to do recruitment and get people fired up before a fucking game and go rah rah rah, let's go join the military, because the fucking military needs warm bodies and foreign lands to go die. That's the only fucking reason. That is the only reason they do that shit. So every time you hear that shit, it's propaganda. It is propaganda. It's old patriotic. No, it's patriotic propaganda. I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to pledge allegiance to anything other than Jesus. Okay? I don't pledge allegiance to a fucking state, to a glorified world government. What kind of fucking sickness is that? That is a mental sickness. And you got born again Christians, oh, gotta pledge allegiance to the flag. Gotta pledge allegiance to the flag. No, I pledge allegiance to Jesus, motherfucker. How about you? I pledge allegiance to the Bible. How about that? I'm not gonna pledge allegiance to some bullshit government that's gonna fucking evaporate with all the rest of them. I mean, seriously. We had this idea, and I've talked about this before, we had this idea that this landmass, this North American landmass, was saved for the Christian church, and God saved it and set it apart. I remember actually believing that, like, wow, because in a way it felt like that, because you had everything kind of happening in Europe, and I mean, everything happened over there. All the Bible stuff happened over there. Everything happened over there, and all of a sudden it's like Christopher Columbus, got on his boat, and he's like, oh, he found this new world, and which he did. Which, let's be honest, yeah, well, there were Vikings there, or Indians there, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine, but Christopher Columbus, did make this whole continent, relevant to the rest of the world at that point. He did. It's a fact. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But, I mean, let's be honest, we came in, we raped the fucking Indians, we literally raped them, physically, like sexually raped them, murdered them, stole their land, the trail of fuck tears, kicked them off their fucking reservations, kicked them out of their homeland, and then what we do, we set up shop and started poisoning the land and the water and dumping toxic shit everywhere just to make a fucking buck. And we're sitting there, well, this is a Christian nation. Dude, if this is a Christian nation, then Jesus wept. Holy fuck, because I'm telling you right now, if this is a Christian nation, I'd hate to see a non-Christian nation. Because we only care about money. Jesus didn't care about money. Jesus didn't have anywhere to lay his fucking head. The Bible even says that. He had nowhere to lay his head. You do unto the least of these, you do unto me. But he had nothing. He had nothing. He had nothing. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, God wants us to be rich and have all this stuff. Really? He didn't want Jesus to have, a pair of shoes? He didn't want Jesus to have a pillow to lay his head? But yet he wants me to have a jet to fly around in for Jesus? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like, I really don't want to be an asshole here, but when I hear Christians say that kind of stuff, I really think they got fucking collective screws loosed. I mean, think about it. God set this country apart for the Christian church. Okay, well, we raped the Indians, we moved them out of their homes, we stole from them. None of that, we brought them disease, but that's neither here nor there. And then we went and got the slaves. We took the blacks from Africa. We stole them. We treated them as non-human. We forced them to work in the fields for nothing. We treated them like shit. Made sure they weren't educated. And, oh yeah, this is for the Christian church. Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe the Christian church is dead. You ever stop to think of that? Because 80% of evangelicals love Donald fucking Trump. And Donald fucking Trump is not what he says he is. And I can tell you that as a fact. He is not what he is pretending to be. The man is a fucking liar. And who's the father of lies? Satan. Okay. The guy is a fucking liar at every twist and turn. Yet people don't care. He grabbed him by the pussy. Listen, I can understand the logic. I think it's a flawed logic because it opens up the door for a lot of shit. It's literally like a Pandora's fuck box. But I can understand the logic of, well, God uses flawed men, so he used King David, even though King David did this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and so Trump isn't perfect, but God is using Trump, and is he? Really? He's using Trump? He's using Donald Trump to take away health care from children. Yeah, that sounds very Christian. Very Christian nation of you. Yes, that sounds very Christian of you, you fucking idiot. Wants to cut food stamps for people who actually need it. Who actually work and need it. Yeah, that sounds very Christian of you. They're just freeloaders. Really? People actually are working and need extra funds because they don't have money for food because you fuckers won't raise the minimum wage. How the fuck you live on $7 an hour, you fucking idiots? That shit was cute 15 years ago. That shit was cute in 95, 96, 97, $7, $8 an hour. That was cute then. Shit has raised up in price quite a bit since then. Inflation, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay. And you want to cut that so they can't have food. Yeah, we're a Christian nation. And I've said this numerous fucking times, goddammit. I'm going to say it another time. How in the fuck are we a Christian nation when we have Roman architecture? I mean, seriously. Look at our nation's capital. How the fuck are we a Christian nation when we have phallic fucking Egyptian penis statues overlooking occultic fucking reflection pools? And that's our nation's capital. That's our nation's fucking capital. I don't see crosses. Okay. I don't see a cross. I don't see a statue of Jesus somewhere. No, I see fucking Egyptian penis statues. Big rock hard fucking dicks is what I see. Fucking stupid. We're a Christian nation, guys. We're a Christian nation. No, we're not. No, we're not. If this is a Christian nation, then holy shit, like I said, Jesus wept. Because again, if we were a Christian nation, guess what? We wouldn't have things in our Constitution and Bill of Rights and whatnot that says we can worship freely as we want. That's not a Christian. Christian is either you follow Jesus or you go to hell, literally. There's none of this, well, you can do whatever you want and worship sticks and stones and, worship cows and, worship whatever the fuck, worship your fucking foot, whatever you want to worship. Freedom of religion, freedom from religion, freedom of religion. Give me a break. That is not Christian. What's the first 10 commandment? Thou shalt not have any other gods except for thee art thou. Guess what? That means you, motherfucker. So right now, our Christian nation is already shit-canned on at least one of the 10 commandments. And that's seriously. You look at the 10 commandments. Our country goes against every single solitary one of them except for honor thy mother and father. Because we have Mother's Day and Father's Day. And we do take time off. We do honor our parents. That's the only fucking one that we actually adhere to. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's shit. Well, guess what? Well, we gotta cut the food stamps because we don't want to pay. We don't want to have to put money toward that because blah blah blah. Don't covet your neighbor's stuff. And a lot of Christians covet their neighbor's stuff. Well, they're buying all the good meats. What the? I'm sorry. When people say you're using food stamps to buy all the good meat, what the fuck does that even mean? You mean any meat or just the best cuts of? Give me a fucking break. Like, again, don't covet thy neighbor's shit. They're taking food stamps and they're buying lobster with it. We're buying lobster tails with it. Again, I was in the store. That shit was $6.99 for a bag of fucking I don't know what the hell it was. It was fucking nasty. I wasn't gonna buy it. I hate seafood. But $6.99. It wasn't like it was $69.99. I could see that being an issue. Like, oh, they're on food stamps, they're buying $69 worth of seafood. Believe me, that I could totally understand. I could understand that. $6.99? Seriously? Seriously, $6.99? Are you fucking kidding me? A thing of soda costs more than that. One of those cubes of soda, those 24-pack cubes of soda costs almost $9. So give me a fucking break. I mean, honest to Christ, are you kidding me? We don't honor the Ten Commandments. Oh, we put them up in the fucking courthouse. Half the fucking judges don't even adhere to that shit anyway. I mean, half the judges, don't even follow the fucking law. I mean, seriously, so what the hell? It's like, but again, we're this big bad Christian nation that Jesus, God set apart for, such a time as this. Give me a fucking break. That is such lies, dude. That is proper fucking ganda. And back to what I was saying before, the whole point is to worship the fucking beast. We have born again Christians who worship the fucking beast. They are worshiping the flag, they are worshiping the anthem, they are worshiping the country, the nation. They worship this fucking country. You're telling me that Marcia fuck Skinner does not worship this fucking country? And I'd say more than Jesus? And other people that we know? Are you telling me this? You're telling me this is a matter of fucking fact? She does not worship at the beast, at the altar of the beast? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't know what to make of that. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not against, hey, guess what? If I had a, dog in a fight, obviously I'm going to stick with my country. And I don't mean anything like, oh, if you don't like this country, then get out. It's not one of those things. Obviously, I'm not going to leave America. I like America. I think America has potential. But I definitely think it's gone off the fucking deep end. I think people are blindly worshiping certain aspects of the situation, and they shouldn't. So again, I'm not saying this is anti-America. I mean, if you took America at its base, there's nothing wrong with it. But the fact that people are glorifying and just like bolstering this bullshit, this propaganda, and for what? So, I mean, seriously, think about it. What? Actually, kind of interesting. I don't know. I've got this idea, and I haven't really thought it out, so I'm just going to say it and maybe work through it. What's the difference between nationalism, like we have here in this country, and like some of the old sacrificial cults that you'd see back in the day, where they'd sacrifice human beings for, like, owl statues and whatnot? Think about it. You go to a sporting event, a football game or a baseball game, they play the national anthem, you get all rah, 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 you join the military, and you go and you die for your country. How is that any different than sacrificing babies to, Baal or some fucking shit, or sacrificing to some, Hindu god or some fucking thing, or some how is that really any different? The only difference is we're not doing it outright. We're doing it kind of under the radar. We are sacrificing bodies in other countries for stupid shit. We went to Iraq for whatever fucking reason. It certainly wasn't to liberate the fucking Iraqi people. At least not in the nice, cutesy sort of way. Now, I'm sorry, but this whole Arab Spring thing was a setup. It was. Now, I've talked about that before. You look at the Arab Spring. They won the Arab Spring. That's why we went into into Iraq. That's why we went into Afghanistan. Because they wanted to spread democracy, spread the cheeks of democracy, so that people say, oh, well, look, they're free. They can vote now, and we want that too. Okay, and it didn't take off. So we went into Iraq, did the same thing, caused fucking problems over there. We created the Taliban. We created ISIS. We created all that shit by going in there and upsetting the power struggle, the power balance. We fucked that up. We did. And still nothing. Then finally, when Obama took office, we started having all these Arab Springs, and you know they set that shit up. I know for a fact the Obama administration set a lot of that shit up. I mean, it was plain as fucking day. You look at the stuff they were saying, the stuff that they were doing, they were trying to set that shit up so that people would rebel against the countries and would set the entire Middle East aflame. Literally set that shit ablaze. And it's a fact. It is an absolute fact. Now, I'm not necessarily blaming the Obama administration personally for that, because I think it was just a collective, whether people want to talk about shadow government or, whatever. It was a collective of the overall government, of our government, of America, to make that happen. For whatever fucking reason they thought was going to happen. Because you can't tell me that we went into Afghanistan. Then think about it. 9/11 set that shit off. I mean, again, I don't want to get into the whole jet fuel and Building 7 and all that stuff. Because one of two things happened. Either our government perpetrated that shit. They actually set up 9/11, controlled explosives, the whole nine. It was just bullshit. Because it's kind of funny how they don't ever show the fucking plane hitting the Pentagon. But, hey, whatever. Just conveniently don't have that photo. You got the photo right before, and you got the big fireball. But somewhere in the middle, that one image, sorry, that's nowhere to be found. Which, I'm sorry, it can't help but cry bullshit on that. Whatever. There was 80 cameras in that area. Not a damn one of them picked it up. Not a damn one of them picked up the plane flying into the Pentagon. Okay, sure. Yep, that sounds reasonable. 80 fucking cameras all around that area. Not a damn one of them picked up the fucking plane. Okay, maybe it's just a fluke, maybe it is what it is. But the fact of the fucking matter, again, one of two things happened. Either we perpetrated that shit to set things into motion, or it happened and then we used it to set things in motion. And at this point, a conspiracy theory that our government did 9/11 is not that far-fetched. I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe I'm a truther, maybe I got the tinfoil hat, but there's a lot of questions that don't have real answers, even to this day. I'm sorry. Well, it's all been debunked. Debunking one thing and debunking the jet fuel and bent the steel and the steel and the steel and the steel and it bent and the thing and it collapsed. Okay, fine. But how did, again, Building 7, again, I don't want to talk about that, but whatever. So it happened, and what did we do? We went into Afghanistan, because why not? It was Afghan, even though most of them were from Saudi Arabia or whatever the fuck, or Syria, or where the fuck they were from. But we went into Afghanistan. We're going to take over Afghanistan. We're going to make Afghan quilts and shit and whatever. And then we're going to go to Iraq and you can't tell me. And then don't even get me started with the Patriot Act. Okay, King Obama is taking away our laws and stuff, and taking away our freedoms. Yet George fucking Bush took away way more freedoms with the Patriot Act, with one single act, one single sending of the fucking pen. He took more of our freedoms away and shoved them up our fucking ass than Obama did in 8 years. And that's a fact. And that's a damn fact. So, I mean, think about how that shit played out. And you can't tell me, you can't draw fucking lines. You can't, it's like one of those coloring book things where you got, draw the line from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. You're telling me you can't draw fucking lines to that shit? You telling me? No. I don't know. But again, let's talk about Building 7. I didn't want to talk about Building 7. Let's talk about Building 7. You're telling me that a base fire that just happened because 2 other buildings next door went up, that somehow Building 7 got fire, and just a regular fire burnt and melted those steel bars, enough so it would collapse just like the other two? Because you watch the way that one collapsed, it doesn't like tip over or part of it break off. Now I could see like if 9/11, if the Twin Towers, because like the whole side of the fucking building was fucked. So I could see like if it maybe toppled over a little bit, or like the top part just kind of crumbled. But the fact that it literally went shoom, 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 shoom all the way down every single solitary floor. Okay, fine. Let's just say that was a thing. It happened. The jet fuel bent the steel and weakened the steel beams, and it just, the weight and everything, the weight of the top part came down. It is, just went straight down. Okay, fine. Why did Building 7 do the exact same thing? Even with just a regular, normal fucking fire. There's no jet fuel there. No jet fuel there. It's just a random fire that just happened to happen in a government building. Again, shit's fishy as fuck. But either way, what did it do? It led into the Patriot Act, where they can now watch you and monitor you and do all this fucking shit. They can do all this horrible fucking shit that they didn't have the power to do before. You want to talk about the New World Order? Terry, you want to talk about the New World Order? That Hillary's going to bring in the New World Order. She's going to bring in the New World Order. Dude, the fucking New World Order is already here. It's already here. What do you think the fucking Patriot Act was? It was the beginning of that fucking shit. I mean, think about, seriously, connect the goddamn dots. 9/11 happens, we get the Patriot Act, so America gets fucked up. We then go into this country and that country and blah, 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 to upset the balance over there. And of course, like I said, it didn't happen. Because, I'm thinking about it. You can't tell me that Afghanistan and Iraq are not in cahoots in the same exact thing as the Arab Spring. What was the Arab Spring? Well, all the people rise up and said, hey, we want freedom. Well, guess what? You're telling me that we went into those other two countries, Afghanistan and Iraq, for the express purpose of, quote-unquote, giving them freedom to be a beacon, if you will, to these other fucking countries, so they'd rise up against their asshole dictators. You're telling me that wasn't one and the same? You can't argue that to me. You cannot fucking argue that to me in any way, shape, matter, or form. Now, is it a stretch? No, it's not a stretch, because it's the same damn thing. The only difference is the first two we propagated. We went in and we actually instigated those. Although that's bullshit too, because the actual Arab Spring, again, if you look at what the Obama administration was doing, they went in there and instigated a lot of that shit. They completely did that. That's a fact. So it was like we kind of did it one way. They didn't really work, so we went and did it the other way. And now the entire Middle East is like, it's all in fucking shambles. And what's it for? It's to set up a fucking issue. It's to set up, because before you had all these individual leaders and they were doing their own little bullshit dictator things. That's why we have to go into North Korea. That's why we have to go into these places, because these people are not going to play ball. There are certain ones who just won't play ball. Assad wasn't going to play ball. Gaddafi was not going to play ball. Saddam certainly wasn't going to play ball. Now you get these fuckers, you upheave these fuckers, and you put in these puppet leaders. They're going to fall right in the fucking line. You want to talk about the New World Order? There it is. This is all part of the New World Order. Okay, so people like Terry want to sit there and piss and complain, oh, Hillary is going to bring in a New World Order. Darling, it's already here. Okay, we voted for fucking George Bush. He gave us that shit. Don't tell me he didn't. Because the way things were before 9/11, there were so many safeguards to a one world government. There were now again, I'm not necessarily saying a one world government would necessarily be a bad thing, but obviously if you're talking from a biblical point of view, yeah, absolutely that's a bad thing. I mean, it might be the next natural logical step. You know, like, for example, Mark of the Beast would be a next logical step where you have all your information. You have something that you can put into your body that could regulate hormones and regulate different things for your heart and whatnot. That's not necessarily a bad thing when you think about it. Now, obviously, you put it in the sense of, well, shit. I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? So now you got this global community, this global United States, led by Trump. You know, you shouldn't bow during the national anthem. Well, what if we have a national world anthem that's played before individual countries' national anthems? So instead of having America's national anthem before a football game, you have the world national anthem, almost like it's some sort of Olympic fucking thing where everybody's standing up on a little podium and, you know, little flags are dropping and, you know, little bitches are holding flowers. You know, every fucking sporting event, you pay homage to the fucking beast. I mean, think about that. That is not far-fetched. That is not far-fetched. Because in a way, you have to have a global thing, but also keep the individual territories happy. So you'd have people in, you know, whatever country, and they would have to have a little bit of something, you know. Dude, did you just fart? Oh, Jesus God, the dog just farted. And I had my mouth open, too. Oh, dude, it's one of those rancid ones. It just, like, lingers, like right in your face. Like, literally. Oh, man. Oh, it smells like an old wet shoe. It smells like one of those old wet loafers. Oh, man. Remember those fucking things from school? Those penny loafers and they get wet? Oh, it's like... I gotta wipe off my face. It literally just feels like it just landed on my face. Oh. I mean, seriously, that's what it's like. It's like a dog fart. That's what the New World Order is. But, I mean, is it really that far-fetched to see globalism start from nationalism, where it's like, oh, we love America, love the United States. Well, next thing you know, it's like, oh, love the global United States. We're all one under God's children, and blah, 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 blah. Is that far-fetched of a stretch? I don't think it is. I really don't. No, the biggest issue, and again, I think the Arab Spring took a lot of that, especially in the Middle East, 9/11, all that stuff. Because there were certain safeguards where it was like, you know, Saddam wasn't going to, like I said, Saddam wasn't going to play ball. Gaddafi wasn't going to play ball. They were not going to play ball with each other. Now, next thing you know, you topple those two and you put in puppets who are like, well, you know, we're not a big fan of Iraq, but we can, you know, live and let live. And, you know, it is what it is. Because, I mean, I think most of the countries will just fall into line. Russia and China might be a little dicky, but you throw enough money at them, they'll fucking fall in the line. I mean, seriously, you throw enough money at those fuckers, you got them. Now, you got somebody like Saddam, who, you can give him $1 billion, he don't give a fuck. He's got gold toilet seats, for fuck's sake. He got gold faucets and toilet seats. You know, he don't give a fuck. His people were suffering, but he didn't give a shit. He would stand up to us just to be a dick. You get rid of him, get somebody in there who's like, you know, we don't really like America, but sure, we'll do what you want. You know, it's one of those things. So again, you want to talk about New World Order, this whole everybody's going to come together shit. That's what the Arab Springs were about, I believe. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, that's what they were about. You overthrow these fucking dictators who want to kind of keep to themselves. Because that's one of the things that, like, if you look at the Muslims, the only reason the Muslims haven't taken over Sharia law and all that bullshit, literally trying to take over the world, is they can't agree amongst themselves. So they've been fighting themselves for a millennia. They hate the Jews. I mean, you realize if all the Arabs, you know, all the Muslims rised up, they could wipe out Israel. And the only reason Israel's still here is because they've been fighting each other. It's a fact. Look it up. And that's the only thing that's kept us where we are. So this idea, because you hear all these people, oh, we want peace in the Middle East, and listen, I'm not ready to die yet. I'm not ready for Jesus to come back and kick me in the dick and say, hey, guess what? You're a sinner. You fucked up. Here's all the things you did wrong. I'm not ready to be judged. I'm not ready to get, to end it just yet. So this idea of pray for the Middle East, I don't pray for peace in the Middle East, because believe it or not, the turmoil and it's actually kind of cool when you look at it, because it's one of the few times where like chaos creates order. The fact that, because I mean, especially if you're talking from a biblical point of view. Now, if we all came together, almost like in a Tower of Babel kind of sense, where we are all under God's children, we're all God's children. Okay, we come under that banner, then God's going to be like, no, fuck you, it's over, you're not. So the fact that we have divisions is the only thing keeping God from not coming back and killing us all. I mean, really, when you think about it. So the turmoil in the Middle East, now I know it sucks for Jews. Now, I don't want Jews living in fear. I don't want Palestinians living in fear. But it is what it is. But that fear is the only thing keeping us moving forward. Because you take that shit away, next thing you know, God's pissed off and fuck you, and he wipes us all out. Like I said, I'm not ready to leave yet. That's self-centered, I understand that, but it is what it is. Anyways, but yeah, I'm telling you right now, I definitely do not see. Again, maybe I just got a tinfoil hat on. Maybe I'm a fucking truther, whatever the fuck you want to call me. But I'm telling you right now, 9/11 was either propagated by our government, or it happened and our government used it as a stepping stone to enact all this bullshit. Because I really... Now think about that. If our government did it, let's just say for an instant our government did it. They did it to set it up so we can go into Afghanistan. And like I said, they wanted to show the Middle East that they could have freedom. And okay, well, this little piss-ass country got freedom, and, they can vote. Again, think about that. Think about that. They destroyed buildings. Our government destroyed buildings, potentially. Just so that they could give us the Patriot Act, take away our freedom, because that was another key part of it. Because America was one of the few, I don't want to say beacons, but we were one of the few holdouts for the New World Order. Like, we would not bend to the will of, a Saddam or that kind of a thing. Well, now you take that shit away. You take away some of our freedoms, where they can watch you, and they can, do whatever the fuck they want to do without, I mean, a lot of it was due process, where it was like, you don't need a court order anymore to tap somebody's phone under certain circumstances, and just little things like that. And we just took it hook, line, and sinker and accepted it because it kept us safe. Well, guess what? They're going to pick away at that shit. Next thing you know, our freedoms are going to be null and void. In fact, they already are in many cases. I mean, shit, look at our fucking president right now telling people in a football game, you cannot protest that, or you should not protest that. You should be fired, you're a son of a bitch, for standing up for your First Amendment right to freedom of speech. You're a son of a bitch for doing that. When in actuality, the president is the son of a bitch, telling people what they can and can't do. Now again, if the NFL wants to say, hey, we don't want this publicity, you guys, you want to get paid, you're going to go out there and you're just going to stand, fuck you, I could totally deal with that. But the idea you got a sitting president saying you don't have a right to protest in this country, but yet then defend fucking Nazis who had a right to protest, that is sick, that is disgusting, and that is fucked up. That is fucked up. And everybody wants to talk about, Obama did this, and Obama, Hillary, Benghazi, blah, blah, blah. Look at this motherfucker. And you cocksuckers turn a blind fucking eye to it all. And I don't understand how you can turn a blind eye to that shit. If it was bad for Obama, then why is it okay for Trump? I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can justify that shit. That is one thing I hate about politics. Now, I'm not saying that Christians need to forsake the GOP and come to the dark side and become liberal libtards and, socialist assholes. I'm not saying that. I am not saying that. I don't like the Democrats and I don't like the Republicans. I don't like either side. Okay? I don't like either side. Now, I do tend to side a little more with the Democrats in a lot of areas because it's either that or the stupidity of the right. I mean, it's one of the two. I wish I could do a hour and 44-minute clip of how bad the Democrats are. But right now, the Democrats, yeah, they're libtards, they're just that and the other. But they're not really hurting anybody. Oh, they're hurting America. They want to make it socialist. Even if we went socialist, who gives a fuck? It means nothing, especially if you're born again Christian. The fuck do you care about socialism? If this is not our home and our home is in heaven, then guess what? Who gives a fuck what our country does in that sense? Why are you losing sleep over the fact that some greedy rich asshole didn't get to make a buck today because somebody gave it to somebody who needed the money more? The fuck does that matter to you? Because first off, you should understand that, because as a Christian, you should understand the fact that you're bankrupt. You have nothing. You needed Jesus to fix your shit. You needed Jesus to fix your problems. No, is Jesus the government? No, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But you know what? Some people do need certain help. Certain people do need certain things. And yes, the government should supply some of that stuff. If our government is there to protect us and to do certain things that, I mean, for example, like a road. I don't build roads. Do I take advantage of said roads that are built? Yes. Do I build them? No. It's not my place to build them. So, if there's certain government programs out there, am I going to take advantage of them? You know, if I'm qualified, then I have to. Because, you know, you're only qualified because you need it. You know? So it is what it is. I mean, people want to make other people feel bad because they're in need. I don't understand it. Well, if you look at, I mean, would a Christian look at another Christian and say, well, I need Jesus? Well, ha ha ha, you're a piece of shit, you're a taker? Are you going to do that? No. So I don't understand why it's one and the same here. Well, they're taking our money. They're taking our money. Dude, you're a fucking Christian. It ain't your money. It's a world system based upon world bullshit. And if anything, it's God's money that He gave to you, which is what they tell us during offerings. So you're full of shit. You were straight up full of fucking shit, and you need to repent and get right with Jesus. And that's all there is to be said on that. But nobody wants to hear that. Christians don't want to hear that. You know? They want to play church on Sunday and asshole the rest of the week. Oh, Trump is great. Trump is great. Trump is an asshole. Trump doesn't give two shits about you. Oh, he's working for us, guys. I see all these memes on Facebook and shit. Like, Trump is working for us. Trump is working for the little guy. He gave up his billions. He gave up his billionaire lifestyle to work for us. Yeah, give me a... Dude, are you that fucking stupid? Holy Christ, you cannot be that fucking stupid. If you're that fucking stupid, I got a bridge in fucking Brooklyn I can sell you, you asshole. Real fucking dirt cheap, too. Unbelievable. Oh, he's doing it for us. He's not doing it for us. If that's the case, he wouldn't be out there golfing 24/7. You know, Obama golfed, Obama golfed. You know what? They all fucking golfed. Bush golfed. Clinton golfed. They all fucking golf. I don't know why the fuck anybody wants to golf, but they do. Fucking stupid. Give me a break. But I mean, seriously. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know where to... I'm tired of the hypocrisy. I really am. It's like, well, if liberal does it, it's horrible, but if GOP does it, it's wonderful. It's of God. Give me a break. Give me a damn break. It's frustrating. Because you can't argue with that. I can't say anything that would make that compute with a fucking idiot who will make excuses for their own bullshit. If you're making excuses for your own bullshit, then guess what? As a Christian, you are wrong, because you are not in a place of correction. You are not in the place of, if God, let's say I'm right, even for an instant, and God is using me as a way of correction for you, you are denouncing the correction, and you're getting uppity at me, and you're forsaking me, treating me like shit because you don't like to hear what I have to say. What if God is using what I'm saying to make you think twice? Or I guess on the flip side, okay, what if he's using what I'm saying to, tempt you to, give up your values? I mean, it could go either way, I suppose, whatever. But there are far too many Christians who are turning a blind eye to Trump's bullshit, and it disturbs me. I'm sorry. This idea they want to compare him to Cyrus, King Cyrus, and he's just like Cyrus. I don't know. Did Cyrus grab him by the pussy? Because I don't think he did. I could be wrong on that. Then you got fucking Pat Robertson saying, basically saying that Trump is better than Jesus. He's a better choice than Jesus, and it's stuff like that. It's just, I mean, seriously, think about it. Pat Roberts is going around talking about, the earthquakes and the hurricanes are all part of God's judgment. Yet, I don't know, man. We had full moon during Trump's administration. We've had 3 fucking storms. We've had shootings. We've had, all within like a couple months of each other. You want to talk about tribulation and shit? Holy fuck. And that's another thing. You want to talk about the tribulation for a second? Holy shit. I'm telling you right now, I can't remember what it is. It's either the bowls or the seals, whatever, the first one. You could argue that the first 4 or 5 or 6, 4 or 5 bowls, whatever the fuck it is, could be one single solitary event. Like, I'm trying to remember. I wish I had it like fresh in my head. But like if an asteroid was coming toward Earth and we had to destroy it and it broke up in a bunch of pieces, that could explain a lot of the stuff, like the water turning into blood, the moon turning to blood. Like if there were certain elements like copper and whatnot, and it got intermingled into our atmosphere and kind of sprinkled down into the water, it would turn the water red and give it a copper taste, which would be blood. So you could have the first 4 bowls or seal, I forget which is which, be the exact same thing. And it could literally be the first 4 could be one single solitary event, which is kind of cool when you think about it. Because some of that shit is very interesting and it's very detailed. But like I said, if you had an asteroid or something, a big piece of rock coming toward Earth, and they blew it up, and the shit blew up like in the atmosphere, again, you look up at the sun, it's reddish color. It could even potentially block out the sun to a degree, or at least dim it a little bit. I mean, you could have that. I mean, it'd have to be pretty big, don't get me wrong. But I'm saying, if you're trying to make like a connection between it, you could. But like I said, the water turning to blood, the moon turning to blood. Again, you have the right elements in that fucking shit, and it's in the atmosphere, or something spews up from the ground or something, and it spews all this shit like a volcano or something. It'd be pretty big, obviously. Although, I guess we had a couple. I mean, like if we had some serious volcanic eruptions like around the world, like 5 or 6, like big ones, like at the same time, that would be pretty fucked up. Now, I don't know if that's possible. I don't see why it's not. I don't know how that shit works, but I think the asteroid would be a little bit better idea, because like again, if that shit goes off in the atmosphere, and depending how big it is, I mean, it could cover most of Europe and most of the United States, and you'd have the basic, you'd have the base land masses covered, where it's like they look up and, you know, and especially if the wind dispersed it properly, and again, it could fuck stuff up. Like your water around the world could literally turn to blood. Maybe not like actual blood, but again, it would have that metallic copper taste, the smell. It would look and taste like blood, basically. And shit, we see in I think it was China that certain rivers and shit turn blood red through like algae or whatever the fuck it is, through natural means. So we know that shit happens already. So I don't know. Like I said, I wish I had that fresh in my mind, because, like I said, the first couple of, I want to say bowls. It's either the bowls or seals, whatever one comes first. Could definitely be the same exact event, just different aspects of said event. And a meteor would fit almost like wormwood, basically. And what's fucking funny, and it pisses me off. I remember this back, it was like 1995. I saw in the Drudge Report back when I was watching, keeping track of that shit. Because back then it was like, oh, you're a Christian, rah, rah, rah. You gotta go and do all that stuff and watch the Drudge Report and watch Limbaugh and all this other bullshit. They had this thing where NASA wanted to counteract global warming by taking nuclear missiles, or whatever the fuck it was, and taking a big chunk of rock, meteorite basically, aka wormwood, and blow up these bombs and send this big piece of rock. This is actually an actual NASA idea. They wanted to send this huge asteroid toward Earth that was big enough to pull the Earth away from the sun by just a couple degrees. Like its gravity, as it went by, would kind of shift us a little bit. Now, I don't think that's a good idea. Just collectively. Even if somebody's like, oh, let me just get a little napkin and a pen and write this down as a potential idea. No, I don't think that's a good idea at all. I think that's fucked up. But I mean, think about it. Now, imagine if... Well, shit, imagine if the core of whatever this asteroid was a lot denser than what they thought it was. You could literally fuck the Earth up. I mean, you could totally throw it off its axis and shit. Which is exactly what sounds like it happens in the tribulation, when all the shit happens. It literally feels like the Earth, if you read it, gets fucked up on its axis, and the whole, just the way it revolves around the sun, the whole nine, it just feels like the whole thing is off kilter. Now, maybe it's a Planet X kind of thing, too. Maybe Planet X swings by and sends us off kilter. Sends us off into like a different rotation. That'd be kind of cool, actually. It would fuck everything up. But think about it. That would be kind of interesting. And if the shit was big enough and it went close enough to Earth, you could literally almost turn Earth like a doorknob in a way. It'd be like literally, it would go from day to night, night to day. Stars would literally fall from the heavens if that happened, because it would literally just fuck us completely up. We're talking pole shifts. We're talking, land masses that were desert and are going to be ice, and places that were ice were going to be, barren again, and it's some crazy shit, potentially. Now, would it happen? I don't know, but I mean, there's potential for like worst case scenario. You could. I mean, it could technically happen, I guess, on some level. Now, I don't know to what degree, but even in the slightest possible, even if they accomplished what they wanted, which is just to knock us off a couple degrees, like 2 degrees away from the sun, so that it, dude, that would fuck everything up. That would completely fuck everything up. And especially if it's got that much gravity that it could actually move us a little bit, like jostle us as a planet. What the hell is it going to do to the moon? Imagine if it fucks the moon up. Now, next thing you got tidal waves and that kind of shit going on. I mean, that sounds like your bowls and your seals and shit being opened up. I don't know. Oh, speaking of bowls and seals, holy shit. So I was watching this show, but I was watching this YouTube video. Now, you can't always take everything on YouTube as a fact, but they're talking about this dark matter stuff and how CERN. Now, this is the theory. I'm not subscribing to it. I'm just going to try to state it as best I can. Essentially, this dark matter, they're trying to create it. Because the way it was described is that when we look at things now, we see them in their solidified form. Not in their like liquid state before they form. So no, it'd be like glue. Like you take Elmer's glue and you squirt it out and it's all kind of, it drips down and you let it harden. We're looking at it from the hardened point of view. And what CERN does with all the particle accelerator shit and all that stuff is it essentially lets us go back and see what the hardened glue looked like when it was, liquefied. That was kind of the word picture that they were using. In other words, they're trying to go back. How was it worded? He said, the guy who was doing the narrating said something to the effect of, they want to see how things work, so they're going back. They're trying to find a way to go, to take what is there and go back and make it, whatever. I can't explain it. But they're trying to figure out how the universe works by explaining the God particle and how things actually came into being before they came into being. Because again, we're seeing the solidified, hardened thing, and they want to see what happened before all that. And so they're kind of backtracking. It's almost like one of those what's it called when they'll take something, they'll deconstruct it and then reconstruct it, whatever the fuck that's called. That's kind of what they want to do. They want to, which is understandable. But as a result, they're trying to find dark matter, which supposedly is everywhere, but nowhere. In other words, we interact with it all the time, but not. It's weird. It's like this. It's there, but it's not there. In other words, it's almost like the ether. It has to. It's what keeps us bound together, and without it, things would just kind of like fuck up. I can't. I wish I could explain it better, but anyway, the guy's theory is not theory, but what he was saying is that this dark matter it's almost quantum entangled in a way. Like it's like if something happens to one, it happens to another, no matter where that is. He gave the example of the point of the accelerator and whatnot is that this stuff is unstable. And he used the idea of like a piece of wood, like here on Earth, like right now in our dimension. If you took a piece of wood and set it on fire, you had to engage the fire to get it going. Or over there, everything is completely in chaos. It's like we're in like control, and they're in chaos. They, wherever dark matter is located, it's in chaos. So it's automatically already flaming. It's like a piece of wood that's already flaming, where here we have to engage said flame. And as a result, the chaos, when it's brought into this dimension, into this, when it's created, and CERN is trying to create this stuff by like the pound for whatever fucking reason. And something to do with, it would take like 1,000 years or whatever to create X number of pounds or whatever. And they're only creating like a tiny like gram of it. And essentially because it's so unstable, it would essentially be like, whatever. I forgot how many, like 40 atom bombs or something, the equivalent of whatever. It would be a big explosion, like if it went off. So they have to contain it. Well, if a gram of it gets non-contained in, let's say, Maine, and there's another gram of the same shit in, let's say, California, they would react with each other. So if one got blew up, the other one would blow up, even though it's contained. So it's really weird shit. Now he kind of went off into a little bit of a tinfoil hat issue, which if he hasn't already at that point, but that CERN, when they opened up these, I don't know, say portals, but whatever it is that draws this shit out, they realized that there were certain entities that were coming with it. So in other words, they were attracted to the dark matter. And there was this something to do, and I don't know if there's even any proof of this, but apparently one of the original facilities was next to like a campus, and a bunch of people on the campus started going crazy. I don't know if there's like truth to that, but that was what he was saying. Now, it could just all be bullshit. I don't know. I mean, you should be able to figure that out, but whatever. Anyways, the whole point is that we as human beings, we interact with dark matter because we have both light and dark in us. So if we engage in wicked activities, we are producing this shit. So, and what was cool about it is, if you look at things like Ferguson, and you look at things like the Nazis and the protests and all that shit, and people are just going nuts, and it's just like the world is in like tailspin in a way. He was suggesting that it's because they're bringing in this dark matter, which is all this dark energy, literally, and it's making people go crazy. So, like, wherever you see concentrations of this shit, and they've got facilities. There's like 3 facilities in America, and I don't know how many there are in Europe. There's quite a few. I mean, shit, there's a fucking particle accelerator next to Jim's house, for fuck's sake. Why? Why is there a particle accelerator? You can literally see that shit in Google. You saw that. You know what I'm talking about. So, in fact, you sent me the damn pictures. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So, think about that. Why is there a particle accelerator in Rome, New York, for fuck's sake? And have they been using it? Maybe that's why Jim went nuts, dude. Maybe that's why the Beard went nuts, because they were fucking bringing in dark matter and shit, and the Beard got... Oh, dude, can you imagine it? The Beard got controlled by the dark matter? Oh, dude, that'd be great. That would be fucking awesome. And the entities, he had entities in his beard, like little gremlins in his beard. Oh, dude, that would explain everything. That totally would explain everything. But anyway, it was kind of a cool theory. I don't know if it has any merit at all, but it was just kind of a cool theory because, well, again, if you have dark matter, and it is the exact opposite of matter, it's almost like Antichrist in a way, which means it would be unstable, or at least to the point of, if it wasn't contained or controlled, it would be unstable. And who knows what kind of effect that has on the world. Because obviously it's on another plane of existence, like in another dimension or whatever, and it's there for a reason. Which is kind of interesting, because it reminds me of that Bible verse where it talks about the Lazarus and the rich man. And the rich man kind of looks up and is like, gee, can you send somebody to my brothers and tell my brothers, I'm in hell not to do that. And there's some sort of like veil, because he also mentioned, and this is what was cool about it, is that the Bible mentions the veil being lifted, and the veil is all this shit from CERN. There's basically this veil between the dark world, if you will, and our world, and there's this veil, and the veil is being lifted, and you're seeing all this dark energy and all these demons flooding into the earth, which is kind of biblical in and of itself, which is interesting in and of itself. Now, I don't know how I feel about all that, but CERN has done some serious fucking weird shit. There's no getting around it. Like, you look at that one video that they put together, and this is just something they themselves put together. There's some weird occultic shit going on there. They had this like introduction video or something, and I don't know if you've ever seen that shit, but it is insane. I mean, they're doing like dances and shit, not like, you know, like jigs and shit. I'm talking like occultic kind of shit, like trying to rouse demons and shit. It was holy fuck. They got the costumes on, and they got these weird things, and they're like just going all over, and there's these eyes on the back screen that are blinking and looking at you, and it's just creepy fucking shit. And then they got what's her face with the multiple arms, or what's her name, Shiva or whatever the fuck her name is, as her mascot logo on the front lawn. So that's entertaining in and of itself. It's like, even if they're not doing anything, even if they're just doing some basic science shit, they're into some weird cultic shit. Okay, now whether they're doing that as a joke, because they did put together a video where it's like, oh, people think there's a lot of crazy stuff going here, and there's this old guy with his thumb up, and he's holding it was oh shit, what was it? Bond. He had a sign wrapped around his neck, and the top sign said Bond, and the other said Mandela, which is something to do with a James Bond villain and the Mandela effect. So they're kind of like making fun of people, but then they also do this weird cultic shit in their video. And this is like a promotional video. This wasn't like some sort of like, oh, hee hee ha ha, or like some sort of, you know, RCCS thing when they had us up in the front row there dancing and singing with their uniforms on like fucking retards. It wasn't, you know, something like that. This is like something they were going to put together and be like, oh, let's show everybody what we're doing here. And they were doing this weird cultic. Oh, dude, I'm gonna have to find that video because I want to see it again, because that shit was just outlandishly fucked. I mean, it was just crazy ass shit they were doing. It's like spooky and just like normal people just don't do that kind of stuff. So I mean, these motherfuckers, and they looked like they were possessed. Someone, the way they were moving around, they were kind of doing this like jerky, like something you see out of a horror movie with like, you know. Dude, it's fucked up. But I blame CERN for all this shit, especially the Mandela effect. Holy fucking shit. Dude, I'm sorry, but there are certain things that are just... Kit Kat had a fucking dash in it. You cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me that. And it looks so stupid without the fucking dash. Because I remember the dash. I know there was a dash there. This isn't just false remembering. I know for a fact it was. And the idea that our original universe has been either destroyed or has been collapsed onto another one because of CERN, that like a multiverse kind of a thing. I mean, can you imagine if you brought the multiverse fucking down? Well, I mean, shit, look at the Bible. I mean, all things are possible through those who love God, basically. I mean, think about that. If all things are possible, then it could definitely insinuate there's a multiverse. Now imagine if the multiverse did collapse in and of itself, and every variant of me or you or us or whatever, we could tap into that. We could actually live those lives and do those things, and all things all things work together for good. Now think about that. And what's kind of cool is when you look at certain Bible verses, like what this guy was saying about the entities and the dark matter, and you look at certain verses, it kind of fits, and it makes this really interesting parallel that if you view it that way, it really is interesting. I wish I could give a couple examples. I'm gonna have to do another clip on this. I'm gonna have to rewatch all that shit and do a clip on it because it's very interesting stuff. Now again, I'm not saying I buy into the dark matter and the demons, and I'm not gonna go into all that necessarily, but it does open a very interesting concept, and I want to talk more about that later. Right now I'm kind of tired and I don't feel like getting into that. Which I didn't feel like getting into half this shit. That was like an hour and 40 minutes ago. But whatever. But there's definitely some interesting shit going on there. And then again, if you take it into this weird... Again, it's almost tinfoil hat, I'm not going to lie. With CERN and all this shit. Anyways, I'm going to save that for another day, and I'm going to call this quits, because this is a long-ass fucking video. Long-ass fuck video. I mean, I covered a lot of shit today. Holy fuck. Anyways, that's it. Goodbye. Fuck you.